Hello everybody, this is Taylor Plays Games with a what if this time. Um, this is what if Deku had asked his Grimoire. Now, this is a My Hero Academia X Black Clover what if. So if you haven't watched either of those animes, I suggest you go and watch them because there will be spoilers for some of the stuff. You know, all that good stuff. Anyways, this is what if Deku had asked his Grimoire. And we start off when Deku is when he's born, really. He was born with a book, a grimoire. It's a book. He was born with a grimoire, and it's floating. It's radiating a red and black aura. Now, his parents are visibly confused. Inko and Hisashi Midoriya are visibly confused because they're like, is this his quirk? So, when he's about 4, they take him to the quirk doctor, and the quirk doctor says, I don't know what his quirk is. We're gonna run a few tests to see what he can do. And they're like, okay. And so they bring in a pro hero, and they're like, this kid has a book that radiates a red and black aura. And we're wondering if it's a villain quirk. So they run a few tests. The pro hero runs at him. Because this is the test, he's not actually going to hurt Deku, okay? So don't worry about that. As soon as he does, the grimoire opens up, and a sword comes out, and Deku grabs it. And this sword is like 5 times the size of Deku. And they're like, how the hell is this kid carrying this? And then he swipes, and it cancels the pro hero's quirk. And they're like, this is kind of similar to the quirk Eraserhead has. So they're like, okay, I guess he has a quirk canceling quirk. So they, just making sure I'm still recording. So they take him back, and they're like, he has a quirk canceling quirk. A quirk canceling sword, more to be exact. It's very similar to Pro Hero Eraserheads. And they're like, huh, was it a mutation? And the guy goes, it's a very rare mutation, but we believe it is. It's very rare, but we believe it is a mutation. So he goes over to Bakugo, because they're still friends at this point, and he goes, I have a quirk canceling quirk. Bakugo's like, that's awesome. And so Bakugo isn't as much as a dick as he is in the anime. He goes, alright, show it to me. And then he's like, okay, so use your explosions on me. He goes, why? He goes, I want to show you how it works. He goes, okay. So he starts to create sparks in his hands, and Deku just swipes at him with the sword. And Bakugo's like, how are you even carrying that thing? Deku's like, I don't know. Do you want to try? And he's like, yeah. He picks it up. He tries to pick it up, but he's like, how do you carry this? He's like, I don't know. Maybe it's only the person, maybe only I can carry it. And then they're like, huh. So they're really good friends at this point. Bakugo, well, they're really good friends. And Deku sees him picking on a quirkless kid. And Deku goes up to him and he's like, do not make me cancel your quirk again. And Bakugo's like, alright, damn. And he's like, okay. I'll stop. If I see you bullying any other quirkless people, or bullying anyone for that matter, I'm going to cancel your quirk forever. And Bakugo's like, whoa, man, chill. He's like, now Deku can't actually do that, but he can cancel it for up to 30 minutes at this point. Because this is when they're about 5. and he has been training with his dad. And word gets out to this to Eraserhead, and Eraserhead's like, that's kind of cool. I didn't know anybody else had a quirk-canceling quirk. So he goes over to Izuku's house, and he's like, I hear your son has a quirk-canceling quirk like mine. And they're like, well, you're Eraserhead, right? And he's like, yes. So they invite him in, and they're like, and Eraserhead's like, so, he's 7 at this point. So Eraserhead's like, huh, that's really cool. He has a book that brings out a sword. And he's like, yeah, but only I can carry the sword. Only I can lift it. And Eraserhead's like, okay, yeah, right. So he calls over All Might. All Might is in his buff form. And he goes, try to lift this. Dick is like, okay, he can't even lift it. And All Might's like, kid, do you have no faith in me? He goes, only I can lift it. I've already tried it with multiple other people. And then he's like, okay, bet. So he grabs it, and he can't lift it. And Eraserhead and All Might are very surprised, like, how the hell does this kid carry this? Now, at this point, Deku's been training ever since he was 4. So he's, like, really muscular. He's like Asta. He's like fucking muscular as shit. He's more muscular than Asta at this point. So he's 10. He's going to school with Bakugo. Well, no. We're going to time skip to right before the UA entrance exams. The teacher comes in and he's like, so, I know y'all want to be heroes. And he throws up the future career plans papers up in the air. Everybody's showing off their quirks except for Izuku and Bakugo. Bakugo gets up and he's like, do not group me with these extras. Me and Deku are going to be the next number 1 and 2 hero. And everybody looks at Izuku, and Izuku's kind of just covering his face with his hands, and he's like, sorry, guys. And Bakugo's like, what do you mean, sorry? You already know you're stronger than all of them. And he goes, yeah, but I'm also stronger than you. I'm going to be the next number 1 hero. And he goes, ooh, rivalry. So, they're really rivals at this point. So, he goes, and the teacher goes, and Izuku and Bakugo are going to apply to UA. Everybody starts murmuring, like, of course they're going to get into UA. They're the strongest kids in the school. So, time skip to the UA entrance exams. All Might. So, Izuku aces the written portion, and then they go on to the practical. So, everybody's like, what is this kid's quirk? Like, they don't sense anything coming from him. So they're like, does this kid even have a quirk? How did he even get in here? And then they're like, okay, but and then the doors open, and they're like, and Deku just rushes in. Everybody's like, well, what is he doing? We have to wait for the go. And Eraserhead comes over the mic, and he's like, there are no waiting. There is no time limit. There is no waiting for someone to say go in an actual battle. So go, go, go. Everybody starts rushing in. Deku already has destroyed 10 3-pointers. Let's make it plausible. So he's destroyed 3 10-pointers, getting him up to 30 points already. And then he destroys a few more, helps out people, bringing up to 80 points. Then the Zero Pointer comes. He's about to rush away when he hears a scream for help. This is going to be Momo. Because in this, there's going to be a Momo x Zuko ship. So, if you don't like that, fuck off. So... Actually, hold up. We're gonna do a flashback real quick. Forgot to do the sledge villain incident. Deku's walking home taking a shortcut. And then you get to, and then he hears the manhole pop up, just fly up. He turns around and sees the sledge villain. Sledge villain's like, oh yes, a perfect meat shield. And Deku's like, oh hell no, fuck that. So he grabs out his sword from his grimoire, and he just slices. Sledge villain's like, that won't do anything. And then he notices that it did do something. It broke his arm. And the sledge villain's like, what in the world? How did you do that? He's like, it's a quirk canceling sword. All Might pops up and he goes, oh, young Izuku. And then sledge villain's like, you know this kid? He's like, yeah, known him for a few years now. And the sledge villain's like, oh shit. And then All Might just punches, goes everywhere. And so they gather him up into a bottle, and Izuku's like, hey, All Might, do you think I would have a chance of making it into UA? And All Might's like, hell yeah. In fact, you may even be worthy of my quirk. And Deku's like, what do you mean? He goes, well, your body is strong enough to hold my quirk. And you definitely have the instincts of a pro hero. And he goes, really? And he goes, yeah. So then All Might jumps off, and the incident with Bakugo doesn't happen, because the sledge villain's quirk is deactivated for at least a good 30 minutes. So he makes it to the police station and drops off the villain. So now we're going to time skip back to the UA entrance exams with the Zero Pointer. He hears a cry for help. He goes and sees a girl, Momo, trapped under a rock. And he lifts up the rock, and then he carries her away, and then he just jumps at the Zero Pointer. His legs are muscular as hell, so, like, he breaks the pavement. And everybody's like, how the hell did he just do that? And he just slices the Zero Pointer clean in half. And everybody's like, oh, okay, yeah, nah. And they're like, this kid is insanely strong. He doesn't even look like he has a quirk, but yet he does. And he just sliced the Zero Pointer clean in half. And everybody in the screen room are like, that's like nearly impossible. Except for All Might, because he's like, listen, that kid is insanely strong. I can't even lift up that sword. And they're like, they all just turn to him. They're like, what? You mean you couldn't even... Oh, God. And so he's like, yeah, I know. But that metal is literally made of titanium. And that sword, I don't know what it's made of, but it's made out of something stronger than titanium, I'm telling you that much. Like, dang. So they all go back to their houses, and time skip a few weeks to where the UA entrance exam, or the UA acceptance letter comes, and he's like, All Might pops up and he's like, welcome to your Hero Academia. And he goes, And Izuku isn't really surprised. He already knew he was getting into UA. Because All Might was like, yeah, I already know you're going to make it. So, now we go to the first day of class. And he walks in, he sees Bakugo there with his feet up on the desk, yelling at him. And then Momo walks in and she's like, oh, hi, thanks for saving me. My name is Momo Yaoyorozu. And Izuku's like, my name is Izuku Midoriya, but my friends just call me Deku. And then she's like, can I call you Deku? And he's like, yeah, sure. And she's like, okay, thanks, Deku, for saving me. He goes, you're welcome. They all see what looks to be a yellow caterpillar walk in. Some students are screaming, and some students are like, listen, that's our teacher. And they're like, our teacher is a yellow caterpillar? No, you idiot, it's a sleeping bag. One of those people that said, no, you idiot, it's a sleeping bag was Izuku. And then he goes, hello, Mr. Aizawa. He's like, hello, Izuku. Like, y'all know each other? He's like, yeah. Yeah, we met a few years ago when I was like 7. They're like, wait, really? We have basically the same quirk. And then they're like, whoa, that's awesome. And he's like, alright, get changed into your PE uniforms and go down to Testing Grounds B. And Momo is like, but what about the orientation? And he's like, we do not have time for all that bullshit. Get down to Testing Ground B in 5 minutes, or I'm going to expel you. So they all get changed, go down to Testing Ground B, and then he throws a ball to Izuku saying, you got the highest in the entrance exam, throw this ball. Or he goes, what was your highest throw in middle school? Or junior high? And he goes, 100 meters? 150? And everybody's like, what? That was without your quirk? He goes, yes. He goes, okay. Use your quirk to throw this ball. Or don't. I don't really care. And then he goes, bet. So he grabs out his sword, throws the ball up in the air, and just swings it like a bat. And everybody's like, okay, what's that gonna do? But they all feel air pressure from the swing. And it just knocks off Aizawa's scarf, and he goes, whoa. It goes about 800 meters. And everybody's like, whoa, that's awesome. I can't wait to use my quirk. And then Aizawa goes, okay, then how about we make it a little more interesting? Whoever gets last place gets expelled. So we're going to time skip to who got last place, and that would be Mineta. And Mineta's crying his eyes out, and he's like, please don't expel me. And everybody who thought that it was a ruse was shocked when Aizawa said, go to the class, I'll meet you there in a few minutes. When he carried Mineta off to the principal's office and expelled him. So everybody's shocked. Except for Izuku, who was like, it clearly was not a ruse to make us do our best. He's expelled an entire class last year. And everybody's like, what? Yeah. So, I think I'm going to end it right there. Part 2 will be coming out tomorrow. And that's really it. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.